So down to second gear through tight loop. Still in the corner. Now switching right. Giving gas. Loving the sound. Oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Now behind me are two fine Broncos, but only one is a real Bronco. Or to make certain Bronco purists happy, should I really say, behind me are only two real Broncos. Well, really, only one is a real Bronco, and that's the manual two-door, because that's a true Bronco. Because for some reason, the Bronco community is now divided amongst the purist Bronco, which I'm going to go test out, and actually we own the green one, four-door, automatic, 6-cylinder twin turbo in the back with the soft top. And let's do some comparisons with, all silliness aside. We're actually gonna have a little fun here and do a comparison because we've owned Broncos since the very beginning now, and we're, road testing this two-door manual. Let's cover all the highs and lows, what's great about it, the differences with the soft top. So jump in with us. We're going to jump in to the Bronco. I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Just before going on the road test and testing out the difference between tops, between transmissions, and between a 4-cylinder and a 6-cylinder, please share, like, and subscribe. It really helps this small family business out. So let's go put the pedal to the metal. So we've got room there for a partial lunch, banana, apple, and drink holder. Love the marine grade vinyl. This is a 2024 Ford Bronco Big Ben Sasquatch. They all come standard now with the 12-inch screen, which is just fantastic. Now let's try out this manual transmission and the soft top, and even now hard top, even on the manual, even on the hard top base model now, because Big Ben is base, you've got this nice, really padded roof, so that's going to hopefully help with sound. Let's cover the sound differences between the hard top and the soft top. Thanks for joining us. Let's hit the road. All right, we've got the manual hard top here. We've got it in 4A because it's a Sasquatch model. Got to go find reverse there. Don't forget to turn off the handbrake by pushing it in. Switch the direction of that so that people wouldn't rip the button off when off-roading. Thank goodness for that backup camera, otherwise I would have backed up right into a vehicle going by. So let's check it out. The manual is actually really smooth. Surprising. Nice little sound from the 4-cylinder. Just around 3,500 RPM and it sounds good. Get a little heat in here. Seats are extremely comfortable. We know a bit about that. We've had Broncos from the beginning and we've done over 70 hours of driving. We drive from the north all the way to the south, all the way down to Florida, starting off in Canada. We've done that twice now. We actually did one of the trips in one straight drive, and we're thrilled. Perfectly fine sitting these seats for hours and hours, 24 hours of straight driving. And I do like the sound of this 4-cylinder. It's a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder. It's direct injection. Of course, it's an inline engine. It's got a nice sound to it. Listen to it. Take it up to 3,500 RPM and you've got nice sound. Now I'm breaking this engine in, so I'm keeping it under, of course, 4,000 RPM, but varying my RPMs. Looking forward to testing out the hardtop on the highway to see if it's a lot quieter or even maybe louder than the soft top, because I think there's a bit of potential myth busting that needs to be done, or BS busting that needs to be done on this, because I've had several people try the different tops back to back. I keep getting the same answer. However, for 2024, maybe it's different. Previously, I found that hard top to soft top, you had some hard tops that were louder, some hard tops that were quieter. And I've also noticed that over the years and the trim of the vehicle, soft top seemed on my original Badlands seemed to be lighter and thinner overall than my 2023 Wild Track. I'm actually enjoying the sound of this 4-cylinder. Of course, I'm driving the Lightning quite a bit, so I miss engine sound, but I like with the manual being able to really control what you get out of the vehicle and control what you're going to hear from the engine. Now, if I were buying this, I would put on the blow-off adapter because I like that little blow-off sound, and that's cheap fun. Did it to my 2.7 liter V6. Now, I definitely notice that the 2.7 liter V6 twin turbo has better instant, it kind of feels like instant low-end torque. It feels very powerful from the get-go. Second is actually quite a bit of fun on this manual 4-cylinder. Second gear is a fun gear, but the 2.7 liter 10-speed automatic, every gear is fun. You just put the pedal down and the transmission's very smart and quick. It knows exactly what gear to go into and immediately gives you what you're looking for. Of course, the manual takes a little more, you have to think it out in your head in advance if you want to drive quickly. You can't just be in 4th or 5th gear and press it down and expect to go quick. You've got to pick the right gear. So it's a little bit more mental work, a little more mental preparedness to be in the right gear. Took off in 3rd gear from a rolling start, and that was nice. Now putting it in 4th in town, 3,000 RPM in 4th gear. Oh, nope, that was my mistake. Now I'm in 4th gear and I'm at 1,300 RPM, so my mistake. Haven't driven a manual in a while. I guess maybe that's why some Bronco purists say this is the only real Bronco, because I guess it's going back to that 1966 beginning story, origin story. Now, some brands have their purists. Porsche has their purists as well with the 911. But I think Bronco community, we can all get along. I think all Broncos are fantastic Broncos. I love them all. It's a matter of just finding the right Bronco for you. But I do really enjoy the fun of shifting through the gears. So I can understand the whole purist idea of saying that the only real Bronco is a manual Bronco. I don't like the slogan. I don't like the saying. I'd say the manual Bronco is the most involving Bronco. It's the Bronco that you're going to feel the most interaction with the vehicle. You don't drive it half asleep, as I guess I was when I accidentally put it in 2nd. But I know, extremely smooth shifting. I can be at 60 kilometers an hour, kind of coasting even in 5th at 1,300 RPM. And of course, if you stomp on it then, nothing happens. It's not like automatic. So down to 2nd gear, through a tight loop. Still in the corner. Now switching right, giving gas. Loving the sound. Oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Okay, so 2-door Bronco is more fun to drive than my 4-door 6-cylinder. The 4-door 6-cylinder, less work, less thought, but you press on the pedal of that 6-cylinder 10-speed, and it's not your typical 6-cylinder. Remember, it's a twin turbo, so it's behaving more like, has the power of an 8-cylinder, and it behaves in a more responsive manner than than a V8 that's non-supercharged, non-turbo. The 6-cylinder has a ton of instant torque. It makes you feel like you've got so much more motor. I feel like it's almost like adding 4 extra cylinders. Whereas on the 4-cylinder, the 2.3 liter that we've got here, I like it a lot. And I feel like the turbo helps this vehicle feel more like it's a non-turboed 6-cylinder. It kind of feels like we've added 4 cylinders to the engine. Now I'm talking louder because guess what? The hardtop isn't dead silent. Folks, I gotta say, don't wait for a hardtop thinking you're going to have this Lincoln level of sound deadening in the vehicle. It's just really not the case. It's a little noisy, but nothing you can't handle on a long trip. You just turn the music on if you don't want to hear it outside, or have a driving partner with you. Matthew and I, when driving down to Florida, we have the music on. We chit chat with the music on, not that loud. Volume 10. You forget all about the outside noise. But if you don't like listening to music and you don't have anyone to talk to, yeah, you're gonna hear the wind against the roof. Mind you, the sound deadening that they're adding to these hardtops does make a nice difference. Those first Broncos were louder. This is a quieter hardtop. Yeah, I wouldn't have any problems driving this every day, even if I had an hour commute to work and an hour commute back. I don't. Got about 20-25 minutes depending on the route that I take. I wouldn't get tired of this whatsoever. And I'm blown away. Big Bend is now, the base. It's the standard model. But a Big Bend Sasquatch manual is fantastic. And the turning radius on this Bronco two-door, the two doors are incredible. I love I'm impressed by the four-door turning radius. It's so much better than a pickup truck. It leaps and bounds ahead, turns so much more easily, which is important when you're doing that, city maneuvering, city driving. But the two-door turns like a tiny little sports car. Mind you, there are some definite setbacks. We could not take this down to Florida. The trunk is way, way, way too small. The boot, to go back to the beginning of the video, the little accent, that horrible British accent that I have. Nothing to say negative about the British and their accents, but for those that are trying to become or are being Bronco purists, remember, historically, our forefathers, they fought so that we could have choices. So choices equal freedom. Freedom's a good thing. Let people choose and don't judge them for their choice. There's nothing wrong with that six-cylinder attached to an automatic. It's more responsive, it's faster, it feels like a heck of a lot more motor. And I know in acceleration times, there's not much of a difference between a four-cylinder and six-cylinder Bronco automatic. Now the manual, it all comes down to the driver, and I'm going to say that 99% of drivers aren't able to, no one is probably able to match the speed, the shift speed of Ford's 10-speed automatic transmission. It's a fantastically quick transmission, and the proof of that is if you look at the Mustang GT 10-speed versus a Porsche 911, manual versus 10-speed, Porsche 911s, 0.5% difference in acceleration time. Same motor, manual versus automatic. And guess what? Mustang GT, manual to automatic, what's the time difference? 0.5 seconds. For anyone that argues you and tries to say that the manual Mustang or manual Bronco will be faster than the automatic, they're thinking back to the 80s and 90s where it took automatic transmissions days to make those shifts between gears. Now, that's just not true with Ford's 10-speed automatic. It is fantastic. Now, do remember, this is an incredible off-road machine and will be for years and years to come because it's fully boxed in frame. And that fully boxed in frame is also going to give you a long life when it comes to keeping this on the road, even if you face rust. Because even if you faced rust, it's going to take a heck of a long time to destroy that fully boxed in frame. But please get an undercoating, a rust proofing underneath the vehicle. going into a bend here. Incredible. This thing is high up, jacked up. It's jacked up in country, and I'm not getting body roll. Let's try this again. You can see the background moving around. Yeah, it's because I'm going through a corner, and I'm not getting body roll. I have to drive quite quickly through the corner to get body roll, and actually I won't get very much. The tires will, I'm not going to do it on this, but on mine, and my previous Broncos, I've driven through the corners very quickly, enough to make those tires squeal, and still do not feel very much body roll. So this, I'd say this could easily replace someone's summer sports car convertible, you know, an Audi Cabriolet or a Porsche 911 Cabriolet. You could sell it and get one of these and not be disappointed, because you're still going to get, you can have a spirited drive in this. You can then go off-roading. You can take the top off. You can take it on a beach. You can take it through the mud. There's pretty much nowhere you can't take this vehicle. You can go rock climbing with it. I just love the Bronco, and I know you will too. Give a Bronco a test drive. More corners, sharp corners, no body roll. A little bit of body roll, because this is really just a little bit. That's not really body roll, it's just the weight as I play around with the steering wheel through the corner. Oh, that's fun. This is a ton of fun. Cruise control, interesting fact about the cruise control with this manual is one, that it has cruise control even though it's manual, and this is the standard model. So it's not like GM where they don't offer, I think, cruise control on some of their standard base model trucks. So this is the base model Bronco. You've got cruise control, and it stays on as you go through the gears. So in third gear, you could put your cruise control on, and then you could go into fourth. And, you know, with the plus button, you can just raise the cruise control up. This is really nice. Still hoping you guys can hear me very well, and if you can't, well, at least you really know what the truth is with that outside noise. I've been doing 70 to 75 miles per hour, about 105 to 115 kilometers per hour. I'm doing 115 kilometers right now, about 75 miles per hour. That's your noise level. So this is quite a jacked up truck, big tires, and still it's incredible that you can go through corners, have a bit of a spirited drive, not have all, you know, insane body roll as you normally get. You know, the laws of physics would dictate that as you move something up and your weight is higher up in the air, and when you go through the corners, that high weight is going to have you flip-flopping around, and it's just really not the case. Go through this corner. It says I should do it at 45, do it at 80, and there's nothing to it. Just super smooth. Picking out those race lines that I practice on the driving simulator over on JCCR Adventures. Super bumpy section test. Jeeps don't like this section because the front axle, the solid front axle, better for rock climbing, but when you go through corners with bumps, you get shattered all over the place, and that's just not the case here. Woo. Two-door manual Bronco, I love you. You're not the only real Bronco, sorry. All the Broncos are very lovable, but this holds a special place in my heart. I hope you get out to test driving one real soon, because I'm pretty sure if you test drive it, you'll be buying one. Now, test out this backup camera. On the 12-inch screen, backup camera is great. I love the clutch on this. If you've never driven manual, don't worry. It's super easy. You just slowly release the clutch and it just pushes you back. Then you can just push it back in so you don't stall. I actually tried to take off in first gear last night with the handbrake on, and the vehicle briefly stalled out because it wouldn't move forward, of course, and I put the clutch back in and it just started right back up. This is an extremely forgiving manual. It's got to be the easiest manual you can drive on the market. Huge props to Ford. This is an incredible vehicle. Love the marine grade vinyl, super comfortable seats, very passable levels of noise. It's definitely noisy, but it's definitely livable. Not livable trunk space if you want a vacation with this vehicle with a family, but if you're just two going on a weekend trip, it's fine. Of course, when we went down to Florida, we were going down for 2 weeks with the dogs, little poodle stroller, Marie's huge suitcase, my big suitcase, all my filming gear. We need a 4-door, but test out the back trunk. If you can live with that back trunk, this is the funnest Bronco you can buy and one of the most fun vehicles on the market. I definitely take this over an Audi or a BMW Cabriolet, and I like this more than my 911 Cabriolet. This is a ton of fun, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Let's just film a bit of that trunk space. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Leave a comment what you think about the Bronco. Let us know. Until next time, we wish you all more cars, more power, and let's go check out that trunk. And another issue is it's not, if you've got baby seats, forget it. This you got to have kids that are old enough to crawl up in here and get to the back on their own. You do have the lever up here, but yeah, as an adult, you don't want to be crawling back there to bring a baby into a back seat. But other than that, this is great. So I end with a bit of bittersweet. This is the only Bronco that works for me. I love the 2-door that we just tested out. The manual transmission is one of the easiest manual transmissions you could ever drive. Anyone can learn on that. I've actually taught someone how to drive a manual Bronco because that's what they wanted, but they didn't know how to drive manual. I taught them in the dealership's parking lot with ease. They stalled out twice, and then after, everything was hunky-dory. Basically, all you have to do is slowly release that clutch and the vehicle propels itself forward. It doesn't want to stall out. It has, stall protection called hill start assist. But this, the bittersweet news is this the only Bronco that works for me because, well, guess what? The boot, the trunk on the 2-door is too small for really vacationing when you have a family. Marie and I, as a retired couple on our own with no dogs, that would be fine. Once we have the 2 little poodles and we've got, a little stroller to bring with us so they can get into the restaurants with us, or now that we have our daughter Layla, that 2-door Bronco, as much as I love it, as much as I feel it's a perfect 10 out of 10, and I'd love to trade in the Lightning and get that manual Bronco, I can't. So I want you to think whether, that only real Bronco and, real men drive a manual Bronco and all that nonsense talk. I think they're all great. All the Broncos are fantastic, and that's why this is kind of ending on bittersweet. So ending with bittersweet because, well, it's not that bad of news. I absolutely need the 4-door Bronco because the boot space, the trunk space. With the family, even if we didn't have the daughter, Layla, just the 2 dogs, because we bring a stroller so we can bring them into the restaurant, it just wouldn't work. So it's bittersweet because, well, it's a fantastic machine. But that manual 2-door, Marie found it to be incredible looking. I found it to be incredible looking. We would both love to have that Bronco and trade in our Lightning for it. But that just can't happen at the moment because, well, we'll have to wait until we retire, and hopefully we live in a future where our daughter can actually afford to buy her own place and isn't still living with us when she's 50 years old. But this is what we need right here. That trunk space is an absolute must. It's fantastic. We've gone down from Canada all the way down to Florida with this vehicle, and the trunk space is great. It is the perfect holiday machine. Love how you can just lock everything up. Love the high package with the locking doors, from the outside, the heated seats. And you know, the Wild Track, I have regular Sasquatch wheels on, so they're not the black ones, because that's my winter kit out here. So second set of mags for the winter. But the interior on the Wild Track, surprisingly, not much difference now with a big bend. So that big bend is an incredible value because it has, well, the washout floors. Love it. It has the marine grade vinyl, which is almost as good, and I appreciate it almost as much as the leather. So we can conclude with saying that the Big Bend is now an incredible deal. Wish I could get the 2-door, but if we got a second Bronco, I guess it's gonna have to be a 4-door. Just remember, folks, all the Broncos are near perfect machines. So let's not bash each other because we don't have a manual, but it is a ton of fun, and I hope you get to try one out. It's absolutely worth considering. So until next time, I wish you all more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal sometime real soon. Take care and see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe and share this to help this family business out.